Hi, I'm Cody, and I'm a Senior Manager of Talent Acquisition at Amazon. I've had the privilege of interviewing Amazon candidates for nearly 9 years, and today, I'd like to share some of my best tips to help you ace your Amazon interview. In many interviews outside of Amazon, candidates are asked hypothetical questions. For example, how would you deal with a difficult customer or stakeholder? Or what would you do if you're faced with adversity or a business challenge? These types of questions are hypothetical and ask how you might act in the future. At Amazon, we like to rely on data and facts. To attain that data, we ask behavioral questions. These questions instead ask what you've already achieved or learned. We ask candidates to share some specific examples of when they've demonstrated behaviors or skills. For example, tell me about a time you dealt with a difficult customer or stakeholder, or share an example of a time when you faced adversity or overcame a business challenge. So, knowing this, what do we recommend to be the best way to answer a behavioral question? The STAR method. What is STAR? The STAR method is a framework to structure answers for behavioral interview questions. STAR is an acronym that stands for situation, task, actions, and results. Now to break that down, situation. Explain the situation to the interviewer so they understand the context of your example. Task. Talk about the challenge or goal of what you're trying to achieve. Action. Describe the steps that you took to reach your goal. Result. Explain the outcomes of what you did. You can even explain what you learned from that experience. At Amazon, we value straightforward and clear communication. STAR is a method to help provide a framework for clear answers. It's not something to memorize, but rather a tool to clearly communicate your strengths and experiences. Some candidates even use STAR terminology as they provide an answer.
Now, here's how you could use STAR. Let's pretend you're asked the question, please provide an example of a time you exceeded customer expectations.
Here's how I might respond using STAR method. Now, let's begin with the situation. In 2020, I was a customer success manager at my previous company. In this role, I was in charge of delivering a software implementation to a $2 billion company of around 5,000 employees that operated in 36 countries. Now let's pause there. The specific and publicly available data helps set the context for my example. Task. The challenge and task ahead of that year was to successfully implement, onboard, and train the users in all 36 countries. Success would be measured in a monthly satisfaction survey, as well as a joint report to their executive leadership board once a quarter. Now let's pause there. These data points give the interviewer a better picture of the context, risks, and visibility into my example. Now, action. This was not my first implementation, but the first at this scale. Knowing that, I formulated a plan to take 3 actions. First, I created a customer feedback mechanism on a weekly basis. Now this was above and beyond because in the past, this was collected quarterly. I also had the survey translated to 10 different languages covering all 36 countries. Second, I wanted to make sure our users knew the why behind this change, and I took the action of creating a monthly office hours and 12 continued education sessions on the product. In fact, these sessions are now being used as standard practice for all future implementations, which there have been 3 of this size so far. And third, a byproduct of the customer feedback actually revealed insights to other opportunities in their organization. I delivered these insights to the executive board in a thorough report, and they were delighted to hear the strengths and opportunities of their organization. Let's pause there. Notice I broke down my plan into 3 main actions. And notice that I'm using I statements for the actions that I owned. Okay, now the result. As a result, the implementation was delivered with a customer feedback score of 9.5 out of 10. And that's the highest our company has ever seen. The Insights report opened another avenue of business with the customer that doubled our revenue. Let's pause there. Here and throughout this example, notice how I'm using quantifiable data to show the scale of my impact. Hopefully that example gave you a good idea of how to structure answers using STAR. There's no right or wrong way to use STAR, but here's some tips. It can be tempting to jump into hypothetical scenarios. Focus on actual behaviors and outcomes. If it didn't go as expected, share the why or learning behind it. Pause and ask for feedback. Would you like to learn more details about this? Or does this give you a clear picture of the situation, task, action, or result? We value quantifiable data at Amazon. Share your examples with numbers, timelines, and quantifiable results where possible. Some folks bring notes to supplement their examples. I don't think I've seen a job description that has perfect memorization as a requirement for any role here. Remember, the goal of the interview is to communicate clearly with your data. STAR is one tool to achieving that. Thank you for watching. To learn more about how to prepare for your Amazon interview, check out Interviewing at Amazon Prep Guide, linked below.